that are embedded in our law, including that of direct ownership. The process must lead to economic growth, the lowering of costs to communicate, that is data costs, and the promotion of effective competition in the mobile market. We have agreed that the capability of the state is vital to an economic and social recovery process, and that specific emphasis needs to be placed on strengthening our local government. The Lekgotla emphasized the centrality of addressing all challenges that local government has towards economic development and improving the lives of South Africans. The district development model must be strengthened by ensuring the financial viability of district municipalities and their ability to raise revenue and deliver services sustainably to our people. Basic service provision will be accelerated through job-creating projects in water, reticulation, borehole construction, spring protection. In construction, we will focus on the construction of rural roads. We want to maintain our public assets. We will also want to embark on ongoing bridge building construction processes. Public employment programs, such as the Community Work Program, will be redesigned to develop skills and to promote local economic empowerment and development. The Lekgotla was unambiguous in its resolve to strengthen consequence management and accountability in municipalities through strengthening public accounts within municipalities, increasing transparency of the supply chain management system, and strict enforcement of the listing of municipal officials and service providers implicated in maladministration. It also urged the state to implement drastic measures to deal with individuals who are vandalizing and destroying public infrastructure, such as our schools, water, electricity, and transport networks. The Lekgotla expressed strong feelings against those who hijack projects in various parts of the country and who even go to an extent of extorting money from service providers. Our law enforcement agencies will be giving maximum attention to this, because this must be brought to an end. We cannot where anyone and everyone does as they wish. This year, this comes to an end. We want our law enforcement agencies to ensure that those who perpetrate these acts that rob the poor people in our country of basic services are dealt with, are taken to law processes, and ensure that the rule of law is observed in our country. An important decision is that the ANC and Alliance needs to be working far more closely at local level, together with other structures of the democratic movement, to ensure that municipalities, as well as those who live in those municipalities, do participate in campaigns that will lead to ensuring this delivery does take place. But we must also make accountability and transparency, and we must remain focused on the developmental needs of our communities at all times. The meeting identified a broad problem that many local development projects have been started but are sometimes never completed. Therefore, resolved on a comprehensive audit of unfinished infrastructure projects, which will inform interventions to complete projects and perform necessary maintenance. As we approach local government elections, we need, as the Alliance, to select candidates for local government that are capable, that are experienced, and are respected in their communities. But more importantly, we should select candidates that have integrity. We have agreed that all existing councillors must go through an intensive evaluation process, particularly in municipalities that have performed poorly or where there are allegations of maladministration and wrongdoing. We need to speed up implementation of our decision to establish an ANC electoral committee to lead the candidate selection process. The Lekgotla identified the need to provide more resources at the local level to combat gender-based violence and femicide, while national government has reprioritized resources to tackle the epidemic of crimes against women and children. Much of the work still needs to be done in municipalities and communities. These efforts need to be properly resourced. The ANC will continue to mobilize across society for a comprehensive campaign to end gender-based violence and femicide, so that no woman or child in our country needs to live in fear. Lekgotla also reflected on another of the ANC's priorities tasks for 2021, namely working towards a better Africa and a better world. As South Africa's term of the chair of the African Union draws to a close in just a few weeks, the Lekgotla agreed that we need to continue to be engaged with several of the priorities of our term. These include the continental response to COVID-19 and ensuring the access of all African countries to sufficient doses of vaccine. Continue to be actively involved in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, giving particular attention to our initiatives on the economic empowerment of the women of our continent. As a country and as an organization, we will continue to participate in efforts to silence the guns on our continent. We will do this through our participation in multilateral bodies and processes, and where appropriate and where sought, through bilateral engagements. The Lekgotla raised concerns about the lack of progress in solving the issue of Western Sahara in a manner that recognizes the right of the Sahrawi people to full self-determination and independence. We will intensify our efforts in the African Union